Hey, Shalom. First, I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Kakadash. Yahweh, who the word ignorantly calls God, Yahweh Shai, who the word ignorantly calls Jesus. I want to give a double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone, who has taught me this truth. I want to give a peace and blessings to the Akim across the four corners of the earth, who teach this truth and risk their life to do so. It's going to be a quick video. Lord willing, the video is edifying. Lord willing, I can get some from this video, quick video through the Spirit, man. I'm in transit. Just had to run some errands this morning, and wanted to get a video in to continue to push the ministry. You know what I'm saying? To push this truth. You know, so therefore, you know, maybe, you know, in that day, you know, I'm able to show that I had faith by my works, you know. Although, you know what I'm saying, you know, the Lord is to say, well, he gonna have mercy on whom he will have mercy. You know, so ultimately, you know, it ain't up to me. It ain't up to how much work I do or any of that. You know what I'm saying? It's really up to the Lord, man. You know what I'm saying? And that it keep me, you know, to get delivered. And, you know, my household to get delivered, you know. And that's just being real. You know what I mean? That's the mind we have. And I was watching the Apostles last night. You know what I'm saying? You know, I got the chance to be in the spirit to click on a video, and you know, the elders were, you know, making a video when they had mentioned basically, you know, just staying humble in this thing, and men that were great teachers, you know, who actually were some of their elders, you know what I'm saying, ended up falling out, you know, because pride seeped in, and, you know, people thought that they were bigger than the program. People thought that it was, you know, of them and not of the Lord, you know what I mean? And, you know, like one man said that he didn't have a stony heart, you know what I'm saying? Man, look, you know, we sin every day. You know, our thoughts are wicked, man. And when you know that, and you realize that, you understand that, you know, there's no room to be proud. And sometimes pride creep in. Sometimes, you know, you feel like, you know, you're on top of the world, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, knowledge puffeth up. You know more than everybody and this and that, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, the spirit dealing heavy, you know what I'm saying? And then you have a period where you're reminded, like, you ain't shit. And the Lord don't need you. The Lord don't need me. You know what I'm saying? The Lord don't need me, man. He could raise up rocks. He could raise up whomever he wants. You know what I'm saying? He could, you know, whoever he choose to do his will. You know what I'm saying? And when you come to that realization, you understand that being humble is pinnacle. You know, to one of the pillars to, you know, staying in this thing. You know what I'm saying? And again, Lord will not get to, you know, stay in this truth, stay in this ministry, and keep pushing. You know, the brother had mentioned something last week, and he was like, man, you know, the closer the Lord get, you know, to the earth, the more things gonna show. You know what I'm saying? The more exposure is going to be on who's his and who's not. And in that time, I just hope I'm on the right side of them and not the wrong side of them. You know what I'm saying? You know, and being that we learned the truth, you know, Lord willing, you know, I've done the job well done. You know what I'm saying? And again, you know, it's always work to be done. Even when you think that you've done enough, it's still work to be done, because we ain't delivered yet. You know what I'm saying? We still in captivity. We still in this wicked ass society where, you know, women are out of order, men are out of order, children are out of order, and the only refuge and the only thing we actually have to hope in is this truth. You can't hope in your family. You can't hope in your woman. You can't hope in your brothers outside the truth. You can't hope in your uncles and grandma and dad and mom and all that. Man, you can't. The world got them. world got them. I'll tell you what it's equivalent to, man. It's like, and again, it's not all bad. Don't get me wrong. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, have you ever seen a zombie movie, right? You know, have you ever seen a zombie movie? When someone get bit by a zombie, right, they turn. Right, they turn into that. You know what I'm saying? A perfect example was that movie Sinners. Right, you had they did the garlic test, right, when they were in the house. You know what I'm saying? They did the garlic test, and the garlic test basically represented, like, you know, if you were a vampire, then that garlic will expose it. And you had the older man, right, who was the blues. Now, if I'm spoiling it for bros, y'all should have. If you wanted to see it, you should have been saw it, man. It's a great movie, you know. But you had the older man, the blues singer. You know what I'm saying? And he was eating the garlic, and he don't like garlic, right? Or his, you know, he was kind of acting weird when the garlic hit his system. And Michael B. Jordan was aiming a gun at him, like, man, like, tell me if it's, you know what I'm saying? Tell me if, come on, man. Like, he didn't want to shoot him. You know what I'm saying? He didn't want to kill him, but he would have to if he was ended up being a zombie. If he was infected, he would have had to. And that's the same thing with us and our family. Like, man, we don't want to do such things. Like, you know, we don't want to be so distant sometimes. We don't want to be, well, I can speak for myself. You know, sometimes you want things to be all good. But sometimes you got to come to the realization shit ain't always going to be all good, man. And it's going to be the ones closest to you that give you problems sometimes, man. It just is what it is. You know, and the only thing you can do is laugh. You know what I'm saying? You laugh to keep from fucking crying. You know what I'm saying? But that's just the predicament we in, and that's just what it is. You feel me? Because, you know, although, yeah, we receiving it on this side, you know, this shit ain't worthy to be compared to what we're going to get, the Lord said. You know, the Lord said what? He's not unrighteous to forget our labor of love. The Lord ain't going to just leave us high and dry like that, man. You know what I'm saying? Nah, hell no. Hell no. What was that, Peter? What he asked? He said, man, when should we receive for doing this? You know, and you can receive tenfold. More family, more women, more children. That's actually yours. Right now, you in a society, bro, where it's so wicked that if you resemble too much of your father and your mama hates your father, she'll start resenting you. I seen it. You know, whatever anger she got toward your father, and they not together, and he didn't cause some hurt or some pain toward her, maybe he got another woman or whatever, and you look like your father and move like your father and act like your father, and you got multiple women like your, man, what? Man, your mama will start looking at you like you know what I mean, getting her lick back through you on your father. That's how wicked and disgusting and despicable and pathetic the society we live in today. You know what I mean? Where, you know, people think it's a game. You think you got enough time to be mad at a motherfucker. Your woman to sit here and hold a grudge against you like she got time. Like hell ain't, like you know, like America ain't finna get destroyed, man. She'll sit there, you done said something to her that got her in her emotions and shit, but it was probably true. And now she holding it against you instead of learning from it when America's finna get destroyed and she need to be, and the only way she could get salvation is through you. But yeah, she's sitting there holding a grudge, not working to try to understand what you telling her, because if she could just understand what you telling her, maybe it'd be better for her. But instead, it becomes a war between a man and a woman, and now we got to see who's superior and who not. And, oh, the woman going to act superior because she got the so-called white man in the corner. Sometimes your own mother acts superior because, you know, You know what I'm saying? Oh, the white man. The white man. The white man got her feeling confident. Section 8 living, EBT card, food stamps. She eating good, living in the suburbs, paying a fraction of the rent. But tell you, shut the fuck up in my house. That's just, hey, you just gotta deal with it. Just gotta deal with it, man. Just gotta deal with it, man. And it's not really even a fucking problem, because the said perils, that's when the problem is gonna be evident. That's when it's gonna be a problem. All this shit right here, all the petty arguments and this and that and disagreements, all that shit can be worked through, right? All that shit could, you could even agree to disagree on certain things. But when hell start to come and judgment start to come, oh, okay. Ain't shit you gonna be able to talk through. Ain't shit it's gonna be straight judgment, left and right, left and right, left. And if the Lord ain't with you in that day, and you fucked, be caught out here, man. Then we're gonna realize and understand what's really important and what's not. What's really important, what's not. What's really, what's true and what's not. When you read in Wisdom of Solomon, I was reading it yesterday during the sit down. Wisdom of Solomon, I think it's the 7th chapter. You can start at 1 and go down. I was reading it in the GNT, and the Lord was talking about, Scripture was talking about what the Lord did to the Egyptians. And I'm talking about the Lord had them so afraid, man. The Lord had them so afraid to the point where they died of fear. Damn near they plagued in the mind so good. And you got to think, the Egyptians were tapped in on the left-hand side to a degree. They had certain, when you start turning staffs into snakes and all that, you think your God is true. Well, what did the Lord have to show them? Yeah, Moses' snake ate those snakes. What'd that tell you? It's only one true path. The Lord showed who was true and what was not. Yeah, you got motherfuckers that's tapped in on the left-hand side, man. That do all kind of shit, even of our people. Voodoo. The island of Hispaniola. You got Levi. Man, you got those Haitians and you got Dominicans over there, man. They both do voodoo. You know what I'm saying? And they think, and they don't worship Yahweh Shai, even though they're Israelites. They don't worship the Lord, man. Nah, because if they did, they wouldn't be in voodoo. They wouldn't be trying to tap in on the left-hand side. But those other nations give a fuck what they do. They can be tapped, but their gods are no gods. Their powers are no powers. And in that time, just like the Egyptians were showed back then, this modern day Egypt was going to be showed, including the people that rely on it, and the people that got confident in it, and the people that got faith in it. People that's confident in this shit. All right, you confident in this, right? Okay, great. Great. The Lord see what you've been doing, man. The Lord see what all you people been doing. Especially against his men. You plotting against his men because you got the so-called white man in your corner. Our people do that, man. Or even our own family, they do that. They plot against you because they got the so-called white man in their corner. A woman that puts you on child support, although you take care of your child because she got the so-called white man in her corner. You don't think the Lord see that? But the Lord said, Jacob have I loved, Esau have I hated. You're going to see just how much the Lord hates the man that you rely on. And then you're going to be fucked. That's why in Micah 7 it says what? Then she that is my enemy shall see it. All of you going to see it. Not just the women. Men. Men that used to be in the truth. Men that talk shit about bros. And you're going to see it. Then what do you do in that time? You ain't gonna be able to say ain't shit you're gonna be able to do. You're gonna have to sit there and take it. Real talk. You know? Hey, so with that, man, little videos edifying lonely. I Kim got something from this video. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakadash.